my screen. Oh, we are live.
You are live. We are live. Great.
I see the comment box starting to move.
Okay, this is good. This is good. Okay, everybody, welcome. So this is the first live Facebook Live of a series. I've got my excellent friend Jessica Brayson in Sully, California. She's in, where are you? Disney World, next to Disney World?
Literally next door to Disney World. I can see the fireworks every night.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, I'm about 50 miles away from Disneyland. So, this is where it all started. This is very cool. Okay, so we're probably coming on in a different place, a couple of technical issues, mainly from my side. That's my fault, but it doesn't matter. It's all good. We're here. So, and you're on live, hopefully watching this. So thank you, everybody, wherever you're watching. Some of you are going to be watching this on Facebook. Some of you are going to be watching this on YouTube. Some of you are going to be listening on a podcast. And some of you are going to be seeing snippets of this on Instagram. So I'm not going to do anything special and technical here. This is about... the reason I did this was inspired by listening to a client who is a lawyer, and he was really freaking out about what was happening. And I said a few things to him, and I was fortunately able to calm him down. And I realized, wow, we need to get together and work as a team and, just go. No, I'm not going to say fight this, because fight is not a positive word. We can all support each other. We can all be in this together, and we can, we can get through this. Joseph McClendon, who is somebody who works with, Joseph. Yeah,
I do. Yes. Well, I used to work for Tony Robbins, so I know Joseph really well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes.
I've met him and I've seen him on stage a few times. So yeah, we both know he is amazing. I saw him a few months ago in Beverly Hills. His energy's off the charts. And his message is, this too shall pass. Yeah. And that is my mantra at the moment. He talks about a list of things, challenges that humans have been through. And I don't need to go into those. We all know what they are. And, the biggest thing that we should just focus on in the moment is this too shall pass. And the other thing I get from Esther Hicks is all is well. All is well. All is well. And I know there's people out there who are suffering for many, many reasons. Maybe you're feeling sick and you're feeling scared. Maybe you're watching the news too much, and that's going to make you scared. So this is an antidote to that. We want to inject some positivity in. The greatest asset that we have is doing the smart stuff we're told about. So yes, go wash your hands and, sanitize the place, door handles and places, surfaces that you're touching regularly. And, just keep yourself as healthy as possible. Sleep well, take the right vitamins and stuff like this. So you can find all of that information all over the place. But what we want to work on is on mindset and what we can do and how we can adapt. It's adapt and survive. Human beings are incredible at, deciding to do something, to move forward, to go forward, to survive and to excel. There are opportunities here. There are opportunities for us to find an inner strength we didn't realize we got. There are opportunities here where we can realize our true potential and do truly great things. Just because in the past you have had a specific way of dealing with this kind of situation, today is a new day. Today you can do things differently. And that's what this...
Like in this moment right now,
Thank
like
you.
not even today or tomorrow, it's like in this moment, you can make a choice to be different, to do different, to feel different. And that really, I think, is where people are so far ahead. Like, what are we going to do? It's all going to be closed for months. It's not. What are you going to do right now, right here in the present, like stay present with where we're at. You're healthy, you're good, you have a roof over your head, you know, and just be in that right now.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, keep talking. Go for it, Jessica. Over to you.
No, it's many of us, and some of us, you know, the older generations have been through traumas or different things, and it's, you know, it's difficult to have. Uh-oh. Did I lose you, Andy?
You didn't lose me, but you're
Okay.
talking, so I'm going to leave you to talk, and then I'm just going to hide away.
Like,
It's all
like,
good.
and I'm like, where
Yeah.
do you go? And
No,
I don't mind the split screen. It's all good.
Okay. Well, I was giving you making you the star of the show.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's just talk. But seriously, like, people are so far ahead. Like, I'm having conversations with people and they're like, what are we going to do? You know, my kids are going to be out of school for like 6 months. And then and I had this conversation with someone and they're like, well, next year they're going to pass them all through school without even testing them and giving them their stuff. And then they're going to be behind forever. And what about when they get to college? It's going to be awful. And I'm like, college, your kid's 10 years old. Like, what, you know, let's deal with today, like right now, right here. Like where you're at. Are you okay? Are you okay right now? I am. I'm great, actually. And just leave it at that. Like spiraling yourself out and thinking about what could happen or should or may or won't. You're just creating all of this anxiety and negativity and stress within your body that is on a cellular level that's actually going to slow down your immune system. And that's not what we need right now. Not at all. You know, so there's no point in expending all that energy on what could happen because chances are what you think in your head isn't really ever going to happen. I mean, chances are, you know, unless, you know, you're a super duper crazy manifester like Esther Hicks, and, you know, hopefully she's thinking some good thoughts because we need people like her on our side, which I'm sure that she is, and all of those powerful healers that we have in this world for us. But you right here, right now, as a person, just slow it down. Just where are we at right now? You know, take care of you. This is a time, you know, people are like, I'm going to lose my house. They're already closing, you know, no, like in my county today, I'm in Orange County, Orlando, and they just said, no one can be evicted. No one can be evicted until we sort this out. You guys are all safe. So why stress of what you don't know? And just
same in California. They're doing the same in California.
Just one step at a time. Like in this moment, you know, I went through a really, really traumatic experience a couple years ago, the passing of my husband. And I lost everything. I mean, everything. I had to be escorted out of my home with police. And I had a suitcase. And, you know, the police told me when I left that pack a suitcase with one thing, you know, and pack it as if you're never coming home because chances are you won't be. Oh, and I had to leave with 2 children like that. And I had no bank accounts, no identity, no money, like nothing. And that perspective for me, how I survived something so upheavaling, I guess I'm making up new language, but such a huge upheaval at that moment was, you know, my coaches were like, today, this minute, this 1 second right now, live in that. And that's such a skill to learn. And I think that it's an easy skill to learn. It's just a little bit of focusing on, you know, being present and being where you're at right now and stop the swirl. I mean, I have to talk with my kids about that. They got a little upset about not going to Disney World this week because it's our spring break and we live next door to Disney World now. And I was like, you know, I'm like, we're healthy. We have a beautiful home. You have a whole room full of toys and you get to spend a ton of time with mommy.
Yeah, that's right.
They were like, really? Are we going to bake cupcakes and we're going to paint and we're going to play race cars on the floor? And I'm like, you betcha. And I'm going to kick your butt in Mario Kart.
That's awesome.
You know, I had to shift my kids away from that spiral. You know, we call it stinking thinking here in our house. My boys are little, they're 10 and 4. But, you know, it's really a simple, keep it simple and just step by step. And we'll get through this. And one thing that I learned, you know, from my experience and having to lose everything, was really just keeping it simple, keeping it present, and the realization that nothing in your life, whether it's good or it's bad, has ever been permanent, and nothing will ever be permanent, because what we're experiencing right now is temporary, and it's not going to stay like this forever. It's just temporary at this moment. And yeah, it's not what we would like to have at this moment, but it's only temporary. And we will get through this. It's just keep yourself healthy, keep yourself focused on the good. And really, this is a time, it's almost a gift. I have someone who's not feeling well, and they've had a long-term illness, but they have to work so much that they haven't really had the time to slow down and take care of themselves. And I was just having a conversation with him about, look, this is a gift from the universe. You need the time to slow down so that you can work on your new medical routine. And now, you have that opportunity. This was gifted to you, and maybe not the way that you wanted it or the way that you expected it. But in the end, you'll see that this is all going to turn out to be a gift.
Yeah. I love what is it? W. Clement Stone. In any situation, he would turn around and yell, "That's great!" And it's like, I challenge all of you. You can see the good in everything. Everything is about growing. Everything is about learning. Everything is about expanding. This can be a gift. And it's like, we have to see the gift in it. We need to transform it. Yeah. And it's a challenge for many of us who've never thought in this way to think like this. And most people are probably going to disconnect with me now and start sending me hate mail. But please bear with me and try it. It's, this really does work. This is the way to, if whatever situation, when you transform it, we become stronger, we grow, and we are prepared for other challenges. Because the thing about life is full of challenges. When we're born, we start off with challenges, usually because we've been whacked on the bum, and we are trying to get over, what the heck is this new experience I've just had? What does that mean to me? What am I supposed to do? Oh, I'm going to cry. Okay, well, what happens after that? We are born into all sorts of a series of challenges, and we learn how to deal with them and how to grow. And this is an opportunity. These can be opportunities, but it's about, if you are continuing with the mindsets and the ways of doing stuff, which has led you to be fearful, led you to be unhappy, led you to be scared, then this is going to be a very miserable time. This is a time to start thinking differently, to go and listen to and immerse yourself in positivity, into people who have minds which are expanded, because there's always survivors in any situation. We are all here to survive. We're all going to survive. We're all going to be fine. We're all going to go. This too shall pass. And this is what is so important.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it, I was just reviewing a couple years ago, I was introduced to Byron Katie, and then she, her backstory is she had a mental illness that was pretty severe, and she ended up being sequestered in a mental hospital, and having this come about realization, and then her outlook on life was so dramatically different that people started seeking advice from her because of her peace and calmness. And the core of her teaching is asking, is this true? Is this really true? And I use that a lot. And I teach that to my children about, when you start to feel that spin, that, what's going to happen and all that, is it true? It is what your mind is doing, because your mind, like your primal brain right now, is so fired up because we're in survival mode. We're in a mode of like, everything that is completely around me is something that is going to get me. And I need to protect myself, and I need to do that. And the way that your mind does that, because we're not hunters, we're not out, for the kill. And we don't have that now in our society. but our brain still functions in that way. So, we feel threatened and we're scared and we're amped up and we have all of this going on. And, our primal brain it's protecting us. And that's what it's designed to do, is to make everything seem so big and so scary and so overwhelming that it's protecting us so that we run or we do whatever. But then in modern society, which works great if you're hunting buffalo or huge dinosaurs or whatever, not dinosaurs, but woolly mammoths or, all that stuff, but tigers, it really, helps. But in this situation, we don't have those kind of threats anymore, but our brain's still functioning in the same way. So we just got to calm it down and let it know that it's okay. So, argue back. I argue back with myself all the time. Like, really, is this true? Is this really true? When you start to spin out like that, because when you spin out, the cellular changes that happen in your body, there's hormones and there's stress and you tighten up and you don't need that. You don't need to be in that space. Did you ever meet someone who's just so calm all the time and you're like, you're either on something or you got something going on that I need to know about? And it's really, there are just some people who've mastered that in their lives. And I think that we all have this opportunity to bring more peace and more calm into our lives through these practices. And they're really easy. We just have to be mindful of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. It's this flight or fright. What is it?
Yeah.
Fight or flight.
Yep.
Instinct that we have is can cause all sorts of issues, and it does the same in business as well. I mean, when we're running a business, we can get paralyzed because we get fearful of spending money or investing in something, or I've got this great, I'm going to be vulnerable as a coach and tell people some of my secrets. What will they think of me? And this can create all of this fear in us, and
not perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not perfect.
You're not perfect, really?
Yeah. And will people still love me?
You're not perfect.
Exactly. So we got all of this back chat going on in our little brain, the little brain I'm talking about, our subconscious, not, yeah, it's just, this is what, unfortunately, the media feeds on this. The media sensationalizes and it starts activates this part of us. Why? Because we're going to have a really strong feeling, connection to it, and then this is going to drive us. Oh, I need to know more. I need to know about that. It's like, this is about my survival. And so we start watching. And why are we going to watch their programs? Well, because they got full of adverts, and that's how they make their money. The longer that we watch, the more adverts we consume, and that is what it's all about, folks. So, this is why I know that we need to know what is going on, and we need to know the facts. There are so many things that are happening. So we need to know, well, okay, if I'm in do I go to work tomorrow? If I don't go to work, am I going to get, evicted? And you need to know that this is not going to happen. And great, the different city halls are getting together and they're passing legislation as we speak to protect us. This is fantastic. I realize we need to know that, but it's like, there's got to be a point where if we're watching it all day, it's going to have this really, really negative effect on us. We might not realize it because we can be positive one day and it's just a very gradual thing and we're just going down and just slowly drowning, And I know many times I've got into this, and for good, I think, well, this is a really important thing. This is historic. I need to be listening to this about whatever it is. And I'm going to talk about what it is because it's going to trigger people. So there's certain topics which are triggering people. We don't need to do that. That's not the point of all of this. And definitely just keep your media watching down. Maybe just, if you're going to have to, just watch like 30 minutes a day or an hour a day and just get the whole thing, because they repeat it all the time anyway. So if you watch in the evening, you're going to get a resume of what's been happening and you're good to go. You know, or your friends are going to tell you anyway,
Or just skim it.
or Facebook.
Yeah. You know what? Find that one guy that always watches the news all day and say, hey, can you give me a 5-sentence summary of what I need to know for today?
Exactly.
That's what celebrities do. Like, they have someone that reads all the news for them and skims everything and then gives them a bulleted list of the topics so that they can continue on with intelligent conversations about current affairs, but they don't immerse themselves in it.
That's right.
Yeah, so someone else does for them.
So how about this, guys? Here's an opportunity. This is a service that you can give. Go to Fiverr right now and offer this service. Start making some money. You know, if you're at home, this is something you can do.
Newsskimmer.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodnewsskimmer.com. And you can get people to subscribe and you'll just skim the top of the good stuff and that's all they get.
Yeah.
Keep people out of media.
That's right.
Someone's got to make a couple grand on that. Easy.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But folks, we don't really recommend this because the idea is to keep positive. So, you know, if you can steer well clear of the media, you know, really, and start doing stuff which is going to be fun, which is going to be uplifting. My recommendation, and like if anybody's watched the film The Secret would be a good thing to watch right now.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, I mean,
do watch party.
Yeah, exactly.
Do watch
party. Yeah, we don't have to be alone. That is why we're here talking to you. You're not alone. We're here to talk to you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you, listening right now. We're here for you. That's why we're doing this. We're not alone. We have the technology, and we love you guys. You know, we all love all of you. That's why we're here. We got a ton of things. You know, I've got all sorts of stuff that I could be watching on TV now and having a great time. But I want to be with you guys. I want to make sure you're all okay. That's the whole point of this, isn't it, Jessica?
I think that we're going to see a revolution. And my prediction is that we're going to see a real revolution because people are like, you know, you go and you get in your car and you're alone, and then you get to your office and you're in a cube, or you're in your office and you work on your computer, and then sometimes you talk to people on the phone, and then you go home and you eat something that comes out of your fridge, and then you go to bed, and then you do it again the next day. So we've isolated ourselves, especially with online and social media. And, you know, like my son now, he's 10, and he thinks that hanging out with his friends is chatting in some chat room on a video game while they're playing. And he's like, oh yeah, I was hanging out with Josh all day yesterday and we had the best time. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it was a video game. And I'm like, that's not real.
Right.
It's not real with social and connection. And I think that now, with us not being able to connect physically, that we now have these opportunities. Like we have Be Live, we have Zoom, we have Facebook, video messenger, you know, a FaceTime. I mean, there's so many ways that you can just connect with people. Like I have a Facebook group for entrepreneurs for support, and we're going live 6 times a day in that group because I want to make sure that no one feels left alone in this. So we have experts coming in. We have what I call co-working space. So I'm going to open up my Zoom and just hang out for twice a day for an hour. And you can come in and say hi. We can talk. We can work on something on your business, because no one is alone. We don't need to be alone. Just because we're stuck in our house at the moment doesn't mean that we have to be alone.
Exactly. You know, I think so many good things are going to come out of this, folks. You know, it's like, for example, we're going to appreciate the contacts and the connections that we do have and the interactions we do have with people. I was thinking about Disneyland in specifically, because it kind of drives. There is a point where I don't like it when it gets too crowded there. Yeah. But at the moment, I would love to be in that crowd with all these people around me. And so what's going to happen next time I'm in that, instead of freaking out and going, there's too many people here, poor me, I don't want it like this, I'm going to be accepting that situation and say how fortunate I am, because I've lived through a time when we needed to have social distancing. We need to transform everything. We need to appreciate the moment, like you've been saying. We appreciate the moment at now because we can have peace and quiet. We get to hang out in our homes. We get to do the things that we don't usually do at home. Appreciate it. Do something positive about it. Don't think about the stuff that you can't do. That is always going to absolutely annoy the hell out of you and upset you. So stop it. Don't do it anymore.
I went through, and you know how we all have these piles of like things that I should be doing around the house, and you've got that long list, and like it hangs in the back of your brain and like distracts you from stuff. So I started today going through and being like, do I really want to do this? Like, do I really want to finish this painting, or do I really want to fix this thing with my hot glue gun and make it work again? And I had this whole pile in the closet of all these things that I should have been doing. And like, I threw 75% of it out. Like, you know what? I don't want to hot glue gun that. I don't want to think about that anymore. It's taking up space in my life. And, you know, like a shoe, and it just needed something glued back on it. And it was like, yes, I should be fixing that. But also, what is it costing me to have that mental space in my brain to have this huge long list of all the shoulds that I should be doing around my house that I'm not doing because I'm so busy with everything else that I'm doing, having a family. And I just let it all go. Like, just done, like, bye. And then I said, what would I love to finish? Is this it? And then that was kind of my defining criteria, whether it went in the trash or whether it went back on the shelf. So my pile on the shelf is really small now. And I really realized that one of the things that's been nagging me that I haven't finished is painting my furniture. And I really enjoy that so much. And so I went to Home Depot and got all the supplies so I can actually teach my kids how to refinish furniture.
Awesome.
And we're gonna make it a family project. I bought big, huge tarps to cover the whole floor in my house. And we're gonna repaint the china hutch, the dining room table, and the bar stools this week.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. And the best part about this, folks, is at the end of it, you've got a sense of achievement. You know, you're going to immerse yourself in what you're doing. You've got a physical activity, and then you can say, hey, you know something? I wanted to do all of this stuff, but hey, look at what I've created. Look how beautiful this is. I'm a great painter. We had fun. I taught my kids something. This is awesome.
Clear your space to clear your
space. Yeah. There's so many opportunities to do a bit of tidying up, and this is like a really boring thing for many of us. Well, it doesn't have to be. You've got headphones, if you don't want to disturb everybody, crank some music up, listen to some podcasts, listen to some comedy. There's so much. There's a show from the UK called The Goon Show from the 50s with a guy called Spike Milligan. Very, very, very zany humor. Absolutely off the charts, crazy, mad. This is where Monty Python came from. They were inspired by Spike Milligan, and they kind of did their own spin off of that. So I listen to that. It's 24/7 every single day. There's so much out there. We don't have to listen to stuff that's going to depress us and bring us down. So many opportunities. There's so many podcasts of great comedians who are giving stuff for free. It's wild. YouTube.
Just at Podfest. Podfest was in Orlando last week. They had VidFest and they had Podfest. They had like 3,000 podcasters at this conference last week. And man, the stories of these people, of what they're starting and what they're creating, was so inspiring. It's really unbelievable. Where else can you want to start a podcast? You want to like have your voice heard? Literally just pick up your phone and record.
Yes.
You've got your own show. It's not going to be super fancy and like technical and all that, but if you really want to get started, like grassroots, you already have what you
doesn't
need.
Mean something with phones now. These are supercomputers. If you had a phone in the 60s, they would go, this is space age technology. It is unbelievable. It is. It's like, to go to the moon, they had was it 64 meg of memory? 64 meg of memory to get a spaceship to the moon. And what have we got? You could get like a 1.5 terabytes on a phone now. It's outrageous.
I have like 10 times the space 64 megs. I have like 10 times that in my meme collection.
Right.
I collect memes all the time, like positive memes, and I have this huge thing on my phone, and people are like, "What do you got in there?"
There you go.
Yeah.
So folks, if you want to infect the world with positivity, start getting some positive memes like Jessica's got and start posting them. Let's bring the level up. Let's bring everybody into happiness here. Let's get some comedy out there. Let's start joking around and being happy. The UK, we've got a crazy sense of humor, and it's like, well, why is this? And I thought about this a lot. And like Spike Milligan, as I talked about, he's a real hero of mine. And he went through the Second World War, and this guy's pretty sensitive. The way that he and everybody coped with the war was a sense of humor. And it's this really crazy sense of humor, because you got a choice. You either take on the full brunt of it and get depressed, which is no use to anyone, or you joke about it. You see the levity of it. You make something ridiculous out of it. You transform it. And this is what this guy did. And this is how they all survived. And the Brits, I mean, we're a little island and everybody's wanted to invade us. First World War, Second World War, the Germans came in and the French came in and the Italians with the Romans came in and the Danes came in. Everybody wanted to invade this little island. It's like, if we got depressed about it each time we went, oh, they're coming to attack us again, where would we be? The humor is what got us through it.
Yeah.
And in times of difficulty and challenges. Now, I know, folks, you're probably not feeling this at the moment, but at least let it percolate and just do your best. Even if you're just listening to some comedy for 5 minutes a day, just try to do it. Don't be depressed. This is the worst thing you can do. You have to believe this too shall pass, because it will. Everything that ever happened to you in the past, you survived. You're here to tell the tale. And I'm sure that, unfortunately, I mean, like you said to me about what happened to you, I would not wish that on anybody.
No.
But you came out of this, and I know who you are, Jessica, and I know that you are absolutely full throttle, all go forwards, and you're making great things in your life, and
1,000 times stronger. That's for
yes,
sure. Yeah, I really am.
Yes.
It gave me the opportunity to know me without complications and other things, and really to reconnect myself and define what my values were for what I wanted in my life, who I wanted to be, and who I wanted to have in my life. So it was a shakedown, breakthrough experience. And just looking at it that way, there's an end to this, and we will get through.
Yes.
And we can't predict what it's going to be, so don't waste the energy on that. Save your energy for doing fun stuff like painting with your kids. My kids and I made a video today, so I do video work for my clients, and we made a hysterical video about working from home with your kids. I mean, I just showed it to a couple people already, and they're like, you need to put that out there. That is so funny.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming out later today, and we had fun. Like, I integrated my kids with what I've been doing all day. My little one is 4. He stood on a chair and helped me make meatballs. He thought that was fantastic, that he could roll up all the meat in a meatball and put it in the oven and have fun. Like, there are ways that we can have fun with this, or do something that you love. For me, it's painting. It's something that as a single mom, I don't have a lot of time to do. So, do what you read a book. Like, my God, I love reading, but I don't, with 2 kids running around, I don't get much of that. I pull the book off the shelf. I'm going to read a book.
We have to schedule time for this. We say, oh, this is frivolous and it's unnecessary and all of this. It is necessary, because you need to feed yourself, feed your soul. You We take care of our cars. We give them maintenance. You know, we know that we're supposed to take care of we take care of our teeth. We brush them every day and floss them, hopefully. You know, yeah, look at your beautiful teeth. Beautiful.
My mom paid a lot for these. Reminds me about that.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Good. And so, you know, we take care of different sides. We know to be healthy. We know to be, you know, to spend time keeping fit and exercising. But we're not part of who we are, and to nurture ourselves is to, you know, to do this, to have fun in life, to have fun. We're taught that, you know, why are children so happy? Two reasons: because they don't have to pay, they don't have to worry about money and paying bills, and the second is because they can have fun. They can go out and play. They can go and waste a whole bunch of time watching cartoons, reading, or playing the guitar, or playing with their friends and having imaginary friends or whatever. What if we did the same? Just schedule some time to be creative, because that's what it is. Kids are being creative. They're letting the creative, you know, finding expressions for who they are. It's so important. As a coach, you know how important this is, Jessica, about the life wheel. You know, if you've got a part, you've got like different spokes of the life wheel, and if one of these parts is out of balance, then, you know, it's like a wheel. If one part is missing of a wheel, it's not gonna rotate very well. It's not going to be a smooth life, and our life is not going to be a smooth ride. And so important. Invest in yourself. Invest in this. And this is a great time. You know, a lot of people are at home now, and you know, they're working from home, and you know, this is a great opportunity to schedule some time. Think about the commute time you're saving, so you can use at least a part of that to have some fun. Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I had someone that posted on Facebook, and she said, "Oh, I'm excited that I get to spend all this time in my new craft room working on these projects." And then someone commented, "Well, what are you doing?" And she said, "Well, I'm going to be doing this and this." And so I chimed in and I said, "Hey, it would be awesome if you live stream. Just set up a camera on a tripod and go live and share with people when you're working on your crafts, because that's interesting. You know, I want to get and see your beautiful work that you're doing." And she said, "Well, some of it is for Christmas presents." And I'm like, "Then just put it on the side." But show us, you know, there's so many things that we can do now with what we love and what we do, that we can share that. And everyone has Facebook Live. It doesn't, even if you don't want to be on camera, you can just set the phone up and show what you're doing, cooking. You know, tomorrow I'm going to show you guys how I make batch breakfast sandwiches for my kids, because I have 2 growing boys and they eat so much.
You know,
and so I batch my breakfast. So I'm going to make a video tomorrow showing you how I cook, you know, 2 dozen eggs all at once, make 2 dozen egg omelet all at the time. Yeah.
Ooh, that's very cool. Very cool. And, you know, and at the end of the day, people do need to know this, because there's, you know, many people who would not know how to do that. And, you know, we want to be part of each other's lives. That's why Facebook is so addictive, because we get to go into people's lives and see what that, you know, what goes on, what they do, and what choices they have, and what the house is like, and where they go, and you can live through them, you know, the adventures that they have. It's fantastic, and learn from each other. It's glorious, and we can keep doing this. Yeah, it's great. And the thing with camera technology now in phones is it's getting so good. My Samsung Galaxy, even though it's the S7, which used to be the best, which is now absolute garbage.
Yesterday was best.
So yesterday, it is. I put Filmic Pro on that, the app, and it is so much better. I can't believe the things I can do with it. I bought a Sony Handycam, which was in HD. It was before 4K came out, and this was cost me $550, and there was a ton of stuff I could do with it, and that has been my go-to. And if I'm in a studio, then it's great. But if I'm doing a mixed lighting scenario where I've got a presenter, it's dark, and I'm getting the sunset and then a monitor behind me or a screen, it's all over the place with exposure, with color temperature. But with a phone, I can change the color temperature, the exposure live. It's outrageous. I mean, if you go and buy a video camera now, it's going to cost you thousands for that technology.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. And you're saying about being able to make podcasts on a phone and not be
Yeah.
able to do anything fancy smancy, but you can. You can edit on there and you can mix. It could be clunky, but with the big phones you got now, you could put some backing music on there and your intro and the outro,
Just get yourself
and
one of
you
these
could
pens
you
with the
could do
little
it.
stylus on the end.
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere now.
Right.
And then you can edit your videos and edit your audio real quick with these, and photos too. I
Just
hand
that.
these out all the time to my clients with my company name on it because they're so darn useful when you're working on your phone.
Does that work on a regular phone? Because my Note stylus only works on the Note stylus. It doesn't work on a regular phone. Will that work on a regular phone?
Yeah, it simulates a finger touch, but it's just more precise. See, it's just tiny.
Ooh.
If you have a big fat finger, like see the difference in the size?
Oh, yeah.
Then you can be more precise when you're editing a photo. Like if you're going to remove a background on a photo, this is fantastic for it.
Right, I'm going to get me one of those. Yeah.
Do you have your address and I'll mail you one? See, like I have.
Oh, you're a darling.
Yeah,
I'll take you up on that.
See, it has my company name on it, and look, mine light up. Ooh.
I'll take you. I will accept that generous gift.
I'll mail you one.
Thank you. That's beautiful. I was going to just get onto Amazon, but it's even better. It's got your logo, your name, and everything. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yes, I'll do that. Thank you.
Especially blessed for good video editing.
Even better. Even better. That's awesome. So, what else can we say to wrap this up and to just inject some positivity? I think we've come up with some great positive suggestions. We can be I think the other thing I'd like to say is, how about a great way of getting out of our own upset and about this is to go and help other people.
Yeah.
Once we start focusing on other people, then our problems just disappear. We can only focus on one thing at a time. If we focus on ourselves, then we're just going to get more and more miserable and more, oh, poor me, I don't have this, that. And, I can't get my favorite peanut butter anymore. My life is ruined. My breakfast is horrible with this inferior. I've got smooth instead of crunchy peanut butter. And for some people, that will be absolutely bugging the hell out of them.
Yeah.
So don't do that. If you're having a challenge, I mean, there's so many opportunities. And there's an unfortunate lady who, unfortunate because I put myself in her place, and she lives on the street. She's in a wheelchair and she lives on the street. People go to try to help her, but she doesn't want help. I think she maybe she's a little paranoid and she doesn't trust people. So that's where she is at.
Yeah.
But I made a point of going to see her yesterday to make sure she knew what was happening and why there was nobody around, and make sure she was okay and was she going to get food. And I'll keep checking up on her. I gave her some money, and I said, look, the stores are going to be closing at crazy hours, so just know about this. And just, are you okay? And just, you can't do this with everybody. You've got to, there are some people that you can't approach and it's dangerous to. There's all sorts of, in LA, we learned that, there's certain people who are a little bit, their mental, where they're at is a little challenging, and it can be dangerous. So we have to choose what you feel comfortable with. If you've got an angry person, do the right thing and trust your instincts and keep away. But there are certain people you can go and approach and help. Maybe it's a next door neighbor. Maybe, I know there's issues with people being elderly and we shouldn't go and be with them, but you can put a note through the door and say, hey, I'm thinking of you. Here is my telephone number if you need anything. If you run out of sugar, you need somebody to do a shopping run for you. Whatever you need, I'm here and I'm thinking of you. You know, there's so many opportunities. Have you got anything to add to that? What do you think?
Do. I just moved to my condo complex, and I only know a few people in my neighborhood, and I actually had the thought we all have to go to the mailbox.
Right.
So I'm going to put a sign at the mailbox because all of our common areas was closed today. The pool, the gym, the clubhouse, the movie theater, like all closed and
Wow.
zip tied shut the gates.
Oh
Like,
my
so
God.
we're really, cut off here from our community. And I was going
Yeah.
to put a note up there and just say, look, you're not alone. Here's my cell phone. If you need something, know that I'm here, and, I'm your neighbor. And if you want to leave your info here too, let's all just be here for each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
And putting that out there, there's also an app that I have. I think it's called Neighbors.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
can look it up, and that's all people in my community. That's been going wild for the last couple days, with just people being like, who lost their dog, or has anybody found any TP? Or people will make announcements like, hey, TP, they just loaded it off the truck at Publix, head on over there and grab some. And so it's been really useful as far as, neighbors. I mean, I grew up in a community where nobody locked their doors. People left keys in the ignition, and I'd be out playing and be like, oh yeah, I know that lady, I need to use the restroom. And you would just knock on their door, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I know you, I know your grandma. All these stories about growing up with your grandma. And then
Yeah.
that's how it was. It was safe and secure. And it's not like that now. We're so distant from each other that, take this opportunity to put a note up there. Or maybe even I just had a wild thought, like, put something up there, know your neighbor, and just start like a poster board of like, apartment 203 loves to ride roller coasters and has ridden on over 150 different roller coasters, and
Right.
start a chain of like something that people don't know about you that's cool, and see
Right.
what your neighbors write on the board, and leave that over at the mailbox or the community center or whatever. Have fun. We can have fun
That's
with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I remember times back then when in the UK it was exactly as you're describing, and there are places like that. I went to work with somebody in Overton in Nevada, like an hour north of Vegas, and it was exactly like that. Everybody, it's
Yeah.
a really amazing community where everybody trusted each other. You don't lock doors; you just leave your keys in your car, not a problem. You need something, any neighbor, you knock on anybody's door and you can use their restroom, whatever you need, of course. And I think that still exists. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that this is creating barriers, but ultimately it's going to be interesting when we come out of this. Hopefully we're going to have a new appreciation of everything and realize that we're not entitled, and that we're going to really appreciate what there is out of there. And when we go in, from when I came from Brazil here, I went to Walmart and I was just like blown away at the stuff that was there. And my American friends are going, "You're mad. This is garbage stuff, most of this.
Yes.
What the hell do you want that?" I said, "You've got nothing like this. You've got like this lanyard and you can put it around your neck and you can keep your credit cards in it and your tap cards and everything. It's amazing. We got to have this." It's like, Andrew, you're so strange. It's like
Yeah.
we just become so used to it. But I just thought, wow, there's so much stuff. And we
It's
just take it for granted.
It's funny that you bring that up, because my experience with that is I used to be a dorm mother for exchange students when I
Right.
was in college, and we had specific instructions that they needed to acclimate at least a week before we brought them to a Walmart, because it was overwhelming for these students,
Yeah.
to be coming from Estonia or Russia or Japan,
Right.
and have these mega stores with just an abundance of food, where they had grown up where you had to get one thing at a time, and usually it wasn't enough to
Yeah.
feed your family. So we were given specific instructions as a host that we didn't take them to Walmart for at least a week. It was just not allowed.
Right. Right.
They
Yeah.
needed to acclimate a little bit to the drastic change in that we had here in this country.
Yeah, we went to the supermarket a few days ago, and this was at the peak of it all going crazy and everybody buying everything off the shelves. I think it was like a Sunday night or something. And there was so many shelves that were missing, nothing there. And I was just, I mean, fortunately, I've got a weird diet. I'm vegan, and I like all sorts of strange stuff. So the stuff that I like, people weren't buying, and I was like going, great, And there are a few things that I didn't have, and I was like going, oh, I can have this fancy jam, or I can buy this fancy
Yeah.
whatever, and there was a whole ton of nuts there, and I'm thinking I can make nut roasts out of this. This is fantastic,
Yeah.
and nobody touched any of those. So I bought like lots of bags of this, and I was, it wasn't, there were things that were missing, but I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about, well, what is there, what can I use, and what we just need to start eating differently, and that's okay, and just just adapt and survive again.
We still have food. Yeah,
We still
yeah.
have
May
food.
not
Yeah,
be what you were expecting, but we're still good. Yeah.
yeah. And
Right now in this moment, it's good.
yeah. And there's
Yeah.
so many recipes online, and there's so many Kindle opportunities where you can,
Yeah.
you could just go in there, or even online, you could probably just put in what can I make out of these ingredients, and it'll come up with a recipe probably,
Yeah, there's
I've not
totally
tried that.
websites like that. I mean, there's like meal prep websites. Like I have one, I think I pay $10 a month, but it's like how to feed your family of 4, dinner for a month for $50.
Right.
And then they give you the shopping list, and then they give you the recipes, and they tell you how to assemble it. And then you put it all in Ziploc bags in the freezer and label it and line it up. And then every night you just drop the Ziploc bag in your Instapot and dinner's done. It's like
Beautiful.
amazing. Yeah, amazing what you can do. I mean, one of my goals for this whole thing, I don't know if you have sat down, knowing you, Andy, you've sat down. These are some things that I would like to accomplish in this downtime. One of them is mastering my Instapot. I'll tell you, that's high up there in the top 3 is really mastering that Instapot food prep, because I've had some doozies that didn't go so well.
Instapot is just so incredible. So incredible. It's mind-blowing what this thing will do. I mean, I'm sure that if there's a program, you could get the thing to tap dance, it'll do so much. Actually what I've done is I realized, I've got such an excuse to spend money because I'm married now, and so I've got to be careful. Thank you.
Married for what, 3 days, 2 days?
Yeah. Well, we've actually been married for 6 years. We've lived together for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
We tied the knot recently, but yes, it is 3 days, and so we've got that little that kind of glow, as it were. But I've got the excuse now of buying a hydrator because I'm not very good with fruit. And then so I'm like going, oh well, we can buy this hydrator, and then it'll be good because all this stuff, and we can save it. And then I realized there's so much more that you can do with it.
Yeah.
And we can start making healthy snacks with it, and like bonus, on the fruit and veg or whatever. If it's getting a little bit, we realize, oh, we're not going to use this. Boom, put it in the hydrator. And this is a great option. So the next thing is I'm thinking, well, I think bread is going to be the one thing that everybody is going to stock up on, and it's all gone. So I bought a bread maker.
Nice.
I've got flour, I've got yeast, I've got recipes because Kindle all over the place, and it's like, so that's arriving Saturday. So now, Myra, my wife, is so happy to be, we're going to have fresh bread, and she's going to be able to come home and she'll smell this fresh bread, and it's just going to be so great. So I'm already seeing the benefits of all of this. I'm just like so excited. It's like, great. Now I get to make fresh bread.
So bread making, yep, you're good. You got your dehydrator.
Yeah.
My ex-husband, he used to make kale chips with like yeast, nutritional yeast and something. I swear they tasted just like Doritos. They were so good. Yeah, like you could turn kale into like Doritos, and it was awesome.
And so that's in the hydrator.
Yeah, and you can make eggplant strips will taste just like bacon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the recipe's out there. Look like eggplant bacon in the dehydrator, and it'll come up. That recipe's the bomb.
Wow. You see?
Super good.
You see? All these opportunities.
Yeah, so, if you can turn eggplant into bacon, you can handle it.
We can transform anything, folks.
Yeah, you're all good.
Yeah. And that's the whole message about it all. I mean, you see, we're laughing about this. We're relaxed about this, and it's not because we're insane. It's not because we're we're mad. It's not because there's something wrong with us. It's all about choice. We choose to be here. We choose to be positive, because that's what's going to get us through this. I'm as being positive, being happy, I'm putting some good chemistry into my body, and that's what I need. This is my immunity is being built up because of my positivity, and that's going to get me through this. And that's what we all need to do. And the people who aren't able to do it, just see if you can lift them up and get them onto your team, into the happy team, the positive team. This too shall pass. That is your mantra.
Send him some funny memes. I probably sent like 100 memes today to friends, just being like, hey, you need to laugh. Look at this.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, it cracks me up. So, it's just share it. I mean, I think the thing is that you can't control what's going on outside and around you. We can't. There's nothing really that we can control anything about that, but you can control what happens in here and in here.
Exactly.
Yeah, so just focus on that. Stay within. This is our time to be within. How many times have you said, I need a real vacation, or I need a break, or I need time off, or I wish I had a job where I could stay home, or, the common one that I hear, among my mom's circles is that I've always wanted to homeschool, and now this is my opportunity to try it. And, it's just turn it around. How many times did you say, I wish I had a break from work? Well, then now you do.
Right.
Yeah. Take that and go with it, and everything's going to be fine. We live in one of the greatest times right now for information, for accessibility, for knowledge. Amazon, I just saw today, I don't know if it's valid or not, but they're hiring 100,000 people to run their warehouses.
Exactly.
So 3 cheers for Amazon for really stepping up in that, because, I had a lot of boxes show up yesterday. My kids were like, well, Mom, is it Christmas again? I'm like, not quite, buddy. We're good now.
Yeah, and also $2 an hour more, at Amazon. Yeah. So, it's super cool. There are silver linings to all of this. You just look for them.
Who does become sick or needs to care for a spouse or a family member that's sick will get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was really important, to set the precedence for employees, because I have many friends who were just cut off. Like, sorry, we're closing. We have no money for you. Go file for unemployment. And they're like, whoa, wait a minute here. It's a shift right now.
This is happening to people close by, but we're all going to get through this. What I love is that, my wife is Hispanic. So the Hispanic community is all about working as a team and helping each other. This is what I learned in Brazil. Everybody it's a community. It's like you have something, everybody's going to be in there and give whatever resource they have. And that's what we need to move back to, because this is where we were in the past. In times of crisis, we get together, we help each other, and that's what we need to do now.
Think about how many people after 9/11 or another significant event stepped up and actually got to know their neighbors and reconnected. And, I have friends all over the world. And, I made a point that every day I'm going to reach out to 1 or 2 people that I haven't talked to in a while that I would like to bring back into my life and reconnect with.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is where I'm coming from. I realized that I needed to step up and just do what is it that I can do. I'm very, very fortunate to have a group of very, very positive minded people, and you're one of them, Jessica. And you are, and I am so honored and so lucky. And I want to share this wealth that I have and infect other people with positivity. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
You get to choose. You get to choose who you're going to be and what you're going to share. Spread,
exactly.
Positive vibes or not, that's your choice.
Yes. So, that's basically the message for out of all of this. The biggest message is let's choose to be happy, to be positive, to look for, be inventive, be creative, and make the best out of this. If you're at home, look at all the opportunities you've got there, doing things that you wouldn't normally do, taking care of your house, tidying up, like you said, getting to read a book, have some fun, enjoy it, and don't feel guilty about being happy, because we could say, oh, we should be taking this seriously. Some people's parents will have taught their people to do that. Some people will be thinking that way. Well, break free of it. You're an individual, you have choice, and you can choose to be different. And like you said, right this second, we can choose to move in a different direction, and that is allowed, and that is the way we should go forward.
It's all new rules. There's the old are not there anymore. It's new rules, and you have the pen. You have this pen to write your own rules at this moment. So go for it. Write new rules. If you want to be happy, if you want to have fun, if you want to choose that, then your body will thank you.
Exactly.
Your family, your friends will thank you, and people will notice in a way that you'll inspire other people. And that's really how it works.
Exactly. And if you're thinking about all of the things that you wish you were doing and you never do, and be honest with yourself, do you usually do them? Probably you don't. So start creating a wish list, make a bucket list, and make sure that when all this is over, which it will be, because this too shall pass, then you can start having fun and doing those things,
Plan a dream trip.
Exactly.
Things. Do all your research. Everything's free online. Watch YouTube videos to your heart's content. Look at Airbnbs and plan out your entire dream trip of where you want to go and what you want to do. And then, when this passes, go for it.
Exactly.
Take that trip and make it happen.
Exactly. Or whatever it is. That's just an example.
Yeah.
just let your mind wander and do it. Go for it.
Look it up online and actually experience it. If you want to drive a NASCAR, if you want to jump off a cliff, watch videos, whatever inspires you. What is it? The 0G airplane flight. I met someone who was trying really hard in a contest because that was the prize to go on the 0G flight. And I was like, watch videos of that. The information, everything that you need is in there, but your body experiencing the things that bring you joy will bring you joy. It's just really simple. Just do more of what you love. This is your time to kind of wind down and do more of what gets you going, what juices you.
Yeah, I mean, there's no limits to anything. For example, I love skydiving. I'd love to do skydiving, but I am scared to death of heights. I can work up to it and I can get over that, but it takes a time. And then so I'm not scared, but then I go back to being frightened again. So that's just the condition I have. But City Walk near to Universal Studios, they've got one of these big fans and you can do skydiving like a few feet off the ground. I'm not frightened of that. So anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything and everything. We live in such an amazing time. This too shall pass, and we're going to have a great life again. So final words, and then let's wrap this up. We've been on for an hour, and hopefully we've passed on lots of great things. So what would your last words like to be?
Just do it. Just figure out what it is that you love. Focus on that. Keep your focus within the things that you can control. And, if you start to feel yourself out of control, self-care. This is a time of self-care. And if it's something that you haven't done in a long time or something that you think you're not good at, trust yourself. You know how to self-care. It's hardwired into you. You just got to dig in there and find it. It'll come out.
And reach out to people. If you're feeling frightened, you're not feeling good, reach out to people. And make that call and just, you don't have to say what it is. Just get talking to people. They don't need to know what's going on and why you're calling.
Figuring out your love languages. And that will be a really helpful point for your anxiety. Like mine is acts of service and gifts are my highest, really high. I'm a connection type person. So, me being on Zoom all day long is what, I'm dating someone now and his strongest one is words of affirmation. So,
Right.
what juices me isn't the same for him in a
Right.
different way. So, he wants text every day, letting him know that everything's going to be good and he's doing amazing and going through it, where I'm like, bring on
Right.
the presents, baby. But just being aware of what your gifts are, your love languages, and knowing that can really help you to kind of calm yourself, because then you're hitting on the points that soothe you and excite you.
Where can we find out more about love languages? Because
I think
I
if
mean, a lot of people probably don't know about that.
the 5 love languages, if you just put it in Google, the website will come up. You can take a quiz. It's free. You just have to give your email address or a email address. And
Right.
then you go through and answer a bunch of questions. It just takes a couple minutes, but in the end, it's going to tell you which of your love languages is the strongest. And that's the things that make you tick, the things that excite you, that get you going every day. And it will give you an order, what's your most important to your least important of the 5. And then everybody has them, and some more than others in different ways. But knowing that, and knowing the people that you care about, not even in a romantic relationship, but just people like my kids, or, your friends or neighbors or coworkers, even just knowing that, you'll know what makes that person feel good.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So comments below if you're on YouTube or Facebook watching this, and tell me what your love language is. And
Yeah.
that'd be awesome to know. And if you're on a podcast, I don't
It's an
know.
acts of service for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So Jessica, how can we contact you? What's the best way
Awesome.
to connect to you?
So the best is, I'm going to be on my Facebook group like every day, doing a whole bunch of stuff in there for business or not. If you just want to come and hang out, we're going to have co-working. We're going to have speakers coming in and out and doing trainings to help
Okay.
entrepreneurs. And my group is Rewired to Rise. And you can just search for that on Facebook. It'll say the Entrepreneur Help Group and that Entrepreneur Support Group. And the name of the group is Rewired to Rise.
Rewired to wide.
To Rise.
Great. Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much for being on the first of these. This is awesome. Injecting your positivity into everybody. And great. Well, yeah, until the next one. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for being on, Jessica.
Talk to you
You're
soon.
awesome.
Bye.
Okay. Bye
Good
for
night.
now, everybody. Good night.